Hey dudes, what's up and welcome to the channel. I'm just some guy. It's always rough because I always want to start the video like I've always done for the last like 5 years. But anyways, if you're new here, welcome, welcome. If you're not new here, well, welcome back. It's been a minute. Hey, how's it going, guys? I got a haircut. I went out of the house and yesterday and I got a haircut because had a I had a job interview today for a second job, but that's a whole other subject. So, what I want to talk to you guys today about is, well, from you probably know from the title, but the myth of toxic masculinity. Now, what do I mean? Well, first off, like, why am I talking about this? Why am I talking about toxic masculinity? So, yesterday, I'm not too sure if you guys are familiar with Shoe on Head. She's been around the internet for a long time. Used to be kind of right leaning. Now she's a Bernie bro. Anyways, yesterday I was on the YouTubes and a video of hers came up about the epidemic of male loneliness. And as a lonely male, I was like, huh. I wonder what this is about. And it was more or less a video. It was actually a good video. I don't normally agree with a lot of Shoe's takes, but this one was really good. Now it talks about like the rise of people like Jordan Peterson, Andrew Tate, and like the manosphere, and a lot of this other stuff. And I was happy to just watch it yesterday, and then I logged into Facebook this morning to see if I got a message from one of the two people that I actually talked to on Facebook. And the only real reason that I even look at it ever, Ricky and Jonas. And, the first post that I saw, now I don't know, I didn't Google this yet. I probably should have, but was it like male suicide, awareness day or something like that, yesterday? Because like literally the first post that I saw, and this could be, the Big Brother algorithm or whatever, that showed it to me. But the literal first post was about, male suicide rates, which is really, really high. It's real crazy. And man, dude, I went to the comment section and oh my God, holy, it was an absolute cesspool of people talking about how male suicide is male's fault, the patriarchy, and it's like, it's crazy because it's like, hey, guys are sad and lonely, and these women will come in there, and I don't want to pull the whole "it's all women" type of deal, but it's like, bro, you leave a white woman alone and don't give her attention for like 5 seconds, and she's like, but what about the women? What about the women get murdered? And it's like, yes, two things can be true. But I always hate when it comes to politics. Like I'll leave my politics out of this, right? But I hate when people are just absolutists. Like you can only care about one thing at a time. Like yeah, sure, women have a hard time in certain things, but so do guys. But like the thing that I saw a lot in there is like, oh, well, y'all men do this to yourself. Y'all men can't talk to each other. And I got to thinking, you know, I have never, ever, ever in my entire life went to any of my male friends, which I don't have a whole lot of them anymore. The whole loneliness epidemic thing is true and real. I have three real life friends. I have Godhand Gary, who I talk to once every 3 months, when I remember to talk to him, and it's usually like, damn, dude, XRP's popping off finally. Oh no, it crashed. Yo, dog, One Piece is crazy. And then that's usually the extent of the conversation. I have Ricky. who just comes to my house, and then we talk about conspiracy theories. And then I have Jonas, who I talk to semi regularly when he's not busy with things, and when I remember to respond to him. Now, a lot of times, and these are real life friends. I do have other friends online, but I guess like that kind of brings up another weird question of like what constitutes a friend online, right? When I stream, you know, do you consider the people, because like there's the whole reverse parasite. I'm getting off the topic anyways. I was on there and it was all toxic masculinity, and I was thinking about it and I'm like, at any point in my life did I ever go to another guy and go, damn dude, I'm having a rough time, and them go, you know what dude, suck it up. Like it sucks to suck, just suck it up, stop being a bitch. And I couldn't think of a single time. I have never went to another person, and to be fair, like I have always kind of kept a lot of my emotions like bottled up inside, right? And like I just don't like to burden other people with my burden, and I don't think that that's a male thing, and that's more of a depression thing. Like I'm depressed, I know I'm depressed, and I don't want to burden anybody else with my problems. And I think that that is very common. And I don't think that's a toxic masculinity thing. I don't think that toxic masculinity is a real thing. Yes, men are told that they need to, show less emotion. Yes, men are told that they need to do X, Y, and Z, right? But anytime I've ever shown emotion to a friend, I've never been told to suck it up. Now, if I were to go up to like some random dude, like maybe some dude that I've talked to maybe twice, and trauma dump on them, maybe they would say that, but that's a completely different thing. You're trauma dumping onto a stranger. In which case, well, bro, do I know you? But realistically, as a streamer, I've had people come into my stream and they trauma dump, and I go, man, that sucks, dude. And to be honest, like a lot of times, I know that, like, just for me in general, like if I'm having a rough time, if I'm going through some depression, just another person. Whoa, he is really mad. Yo, calm down. I'm making a video. Classic. Um, but like, a lot of times if I'm just having a bad time and I like dump on somebody and they go, bro, dude, that sucks. That's really a lot of just what you need. And like the video that I watched from Shu goes over the whole like rise of like why Andrew Tate is popular, why Jordan Peterson is popular, why some of these manosphere male gurus are popular. And it's because they, if nothing else, they give the illusion of listening and talking. And as a man, having somebody listen to you, just listen to you, and take you into consideration is so huge. Like, men are born with inherently no value. Like that's the big thing is like, you know, you're you have to you have to build value over time as a man. Like you're not inherently valued after you turn 18. You are chucked out into the world, and if you are not, if you're not charismatic, you're a social recluse like I am. If you don't have something, it's very rough, and especially in today's day and age, it is so hard to just make friends, right? And I think that that's like one of the big problems that a lot of guys have, and why a lot of people move to parasocial relationships with streaming and stuff like that is because, especially if you go talk to a small streamer, right? You get that parasocial relationship. Oh, hold on. Um, and that conversation that you can't get in real life, because let's be real, when you go to work, what do? You go to work, you do your work, and you go home because you just want to go home, you just want to play video games. Um, I've had work friends at jobs, but are they really friends? Like almost all of my work friends that I've ever had, as soon as I leave that job, never talk to them again. Um, and so it's really, really hard for people to build real friendships. And I think that that is one of the big reasons why, like, a lot of times men feel super lonely. They feel isolated. I literally left my house like for the first time in a while yesterday, to go get a haircut. Like, if it wasn't for me having to go get a haircut that wasn't just done by myself, yeah, I don't go outside. And that's a me problem. Like you could tell me, hey, you need to go outside a bunch of times, but that doesn't mean I'm going to, right? Um, you know, it's it's a big thing, but like, you know, these self-help gurus give people an idea of what to do. Make your bed, clean up your life. Instead of giving blame or going, well, this is your fault. This is the fault of somebody else. They go, hey, you know what? How about you start cleaning up your life? I understand that you have problems. I understand that life is rough. I've been there. I've done this. Here's how I sorted this out. This is how I, did this. Nah, not me. Obviously, because like my kitchen's still a mess, right? But this is something that I think a lot of young adrift males desperately need. Now, I always had my dad, and um, if I was feeling bad, like I could call my dad up, and he'd be like, "Hey," I'd be like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" He'd be like, nothing, just the same old shit." And I'd be like, "Yeah, man, me too." Like, but hey, I got this problem, and he'd listen to me. And he'd be like, "Man, that sucks, dude." He's like, "This is what I would do." And I'd be like, "All right, cool." And we really wouldn't talk a whole lot, but like I feel like guys have this conversation, right? Where you say the most that you need to in the least amount of words, you get your point out, and then you get some affirmation that, it sucks. It is what it is. You can only deal with so much stuff, and, outside of that, you just gotta, you know, I say this a lot, right? It is what it is. And a lot of people take that as like, as cope, right? And I think the real meaning behind it is what it is, or at least for me, is that there's things that you can directly affect. This is like the stoicisms type stuff, right? There's things that you can affect in life. And then there's things that are what they are. And if it is what it is, then you don't want to spend a lot of time and effort trying to fix what you can't fix. You can control what you can control, and if it is what it is, then you need to move on to the things that you can fix. Are your clothes dirty? Well, go wash them. You know, Nothing's stopping you from that. Like that isn't what it is. It isn't is what it is, right? But like if you're like, man, the government is taxing me too much, bro. It is what it is, dude. Just don't pay your taxes. Um, but I think that like to circle back to like what I originally said, I have never once went to Ricky or Jonas or even Gary and been like, dude, I'm not having a good time. And they'd be like, well, yeah, you just need to suck it up, man up, and stop being a little bitch. Like, I think that that is an absolute myth because I have never seen that. Even on posts on the internet where people are rude and mean, if I see a post from a guy that's like, bruh, I just got broke up with, my girl cheated on me, I'm not in a good place. Most of the time, it's going to be a whole bunch of people being like, bro, don't worry, King. You know, you lost some baggage that you needed to get rid of anyways. Like I feel like men are more supportive of other men than anybody like gives men credit for. Like you always see, oh, toxic masculinity, oh, you know, man up, don't show emotions. And I find that the opposite is true. Men are super supportive of other men, and it's always like women that come into the comment section, they're like, bruh, toxic masculinity. The reason why you're so sad is because other men won't talk to you. And I just don't think that that's true. I think that that's just a myth that is perpetuated. Now, are you going to have some dudes that are going to be like, bruh, just suck it up? Yeah. Is it the common person? No, it's not. Just the same with like the, you know, misandrists on Twitter that are like, oh, you know how you could make yourself feel better? Just kill yourself. You know, and I think that we always look at too much of the extremes on either side. And I think that like, you know, we as men, you know, if you want to trauma dump on a friend, then you know do it. But the problem is there's a difference between like reaching out to a friend for help and being whiny. Nobody likes a whiny person. You know, I think maybe that's where it comes from, right? Maybe that's where it comes from when you constantly come in and you're constant like, oh, poor me, oh, this sucks, oh, I hate this, everything's terrible, you know, everything is bad. And you're constantly like that, even though the person's like, hey, well, you know, like, what if you did this, what if you did that, you know, what if we worked on this, like, what if you worked out, like, you know, I'm giving you a whole bunch of options to, you know, to make things better, and you don't take them and you just go, you know, I'm just going to be sad. But I'm going to tell you about how I'm sad all the time. Well, eventually then the people are like, you know, hey, I just don't want to hear it anymore. Right? It's like I talked about like on my, you know, on my previous main channel before, when I was going through depression. It's like, you know, when a person comes in and they're like, well, hey, have you tried just not being sad? Like that doesn't really help at all. Whereas like, you know, if you give some solutions, right? Like, hey, you know, do this. You know, and to be fair, some people just don't want to do that. You know, like I mean, I fall into that trap sometimes too, where it's like I know what I need to do to feel better, but I just don't do it because I'm like, well, I don't want to. You know, but at the same time, you know, I wouldn't expect somebody to listen to me complain about the same thing over and over and over again. Like, you know, if I'm like, oh, I'm lonely because I can't get a girlfriend, and they go, well, you know, you are a little bit fat and you probably should wash your clothes and maybe shave, and I don't know, go talk to some girls. And the whole time I go, well, yeah, but I don't want to do any of that. And I'm still sad and lonely. And I really still want a girlfriend. Like, you know, after a certain amount of time, then, you know, like nobody, they've got their own problems, right? You know, it's also a give and take, too, I think, when it comes to, you know, to um, doing that. Like, if you're the only person who's trauma dumping on people and then you're not there to listen to their problems, or you don't like reciprocate and go, you know, yeah, things are going really bad for me, but like, what about you, dude? You know, One thing that I always thought was kind of interesting is my boss at work. We'll have like just one-on-one meetings every so often, and he'll just be like, "How are you doing?" And I'm like, I'm the project is this, blah blah blah, and he's like, "No, like, how are you doing? Like, are you getting outside? How's the working out stuff going? Um, you know, how are you doing?" And I've always thought that that was, kind of nice, right? Even if it's just the illusion of caring, like it's still something, right? And I feel like a lot of dudes don't have anything like that. And so they go on the internet and they see these people that are listening to them. They're kind of, going, "Hey, things suck. I know, but you gotta here's the steps to get better." And it's easy to latch on to charismatic people like Andrew Tate. And then, because people are socially awkward, they're shut in neats, they take things to the extremes, right? So instead of being a well adjusted, male human being, which, let's be real, if you get like super into to Andrew Tate, are you really a super well adjusted, human being? I'm not. I'm socially awkward. And the moment that any person gives me even like the tiniest crumb of attention, I'm just like, well, please give me more. Oh my god, and that could be a whole separate thing on the way that, like, guys interact with girls, especially on the internet. And as soon as they find out that they're a girl, whether they go like, full full incel mode, or whether or not they just instantaneously fall in love. Um, but like that's a big thing for me, and it's like, I definitely resonate with like the whole loneliness thing. Like I used to go to like multiple anime conventions a month before COVID, and definitely, fuck, dude, COVID screwed a whole lot of stuff up, especially like in my own life. And I'm still trying to like struggle to get myself back to where I used to be. Like I had, a whole support network of people, which, to be fair, as soon as I stopped going to conventions, a lot of those people poofed. But to be fair, also a lot of it was my fault for just like isolating myself, and that's a lot of things that I have to work on. Um, but I don't know where all of this went to. I just think that like the whole idea of toxic masculinity is stupid. I don't think that it's real. I don't think that it's true. I think that it's a myth perpetuated online, and it it negatively impacts men because they think that if they go tell a bro, "Hey, dude, I'm just not feeling very bro like," that they're gonna get told that they're, a sissy or something like that. And I don't think that that's true. I think that, like, reach out to your bros if you're not having, if a bro won't listen to you vent at least like a little bit every so often and be there for you, like, are they really a bro in the first place? And a lot of times, I find that, if a dude opens up to me and tells me his problems and I can help him, you know get through it, sort it out, you know that's a good feeling. I helped a bro out. um I don't know how to end this video or where to go with this video, but you know, it's it's a problem. Social media is a problem. The internet's a problem. We don't form relationships anymore. We don't form friendships anymore, and it's rough. And I'm bad at friendships. I'm bad at responding to people, but I will say that, like, if you reached out to me on Discord, or even in the comment sections on like some of my other videos, know that I do appreciate it. Yeah, like I really do appreciate it. And sometimes just being like, "Hey, hope you're doing okay," can mean the world to somebody who's going through a rough time. But anyways, hey, I got a new shirt. I like this shirt. It's a nice shirt, and I got a haircut. Yesterday was a productive day. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys when I see you. Take it easy, homies. Peace out.